I personally think 9/11 was an inside job, and it was pulled off just like the Kennedy assassination, not because of any one particular reason, but because of an accumulation, an aggregate number. Let me run this by you. Follow the money. Wait a minute. I got to get in, and let me tell you this because it won't take very long, and you need to understand this. This sounds really sad and sick, but at heart, 9/11 may have been a insurance scam. All right, the World Trade Center buildings were owned by the Port Authority in New York, who for years had been trying to figure out what to do with them. They were 30 years old. They were deteriorating. They even had done a secret study because they didn't want anybody to know. And they did a big secret study to see about if they couldn't renovate them and put them back into some good order. And basically what it came out was it was not cost effective. Can you imagine trying to put scaffolding up 2 buildings of 110 stories? I mean, it would have cost more than it's worth. Plus, those buildings weren't full anyway, never had been full. There were whole floors that nobody was on, okay? So then they decided, well, we'll see about tearing them down. They went to the city of New York, Port Authority, tried to get a permit so they could tear those buildings down. And then that fell apart because they found out they were half filled with asbestos. So they can't tear them down. So, what are we going to do about this? All right, 2 months before 9/11, a 99-year lease was leased to Larry Silverstein Properties and Wakefield Properties for $2.3 billion, I believe, okay? But they didn't have to put up all that money right then. They put up some rent money, they put up some deposit money, and it all totaled about $125 million, okay? So now Larry Silverstein, he's the operator, the leasee. He has control and authority over those buildings. First thing he does is hire an Israeli-based company called Securicom, okay, to provide security for the World Trade Center. The board chairman of Securicom was Wirt Walker III, as in George Herbert Walker Bush, the close family connection to the Bushes, and sitting on the board of directors was Marvin Bush, the younger brother of George Bush. So now the Bushes have control over the security of the World Trade Center. All right. The next thing that Larry Silverstein does is go and get insurance policies with guarantees that they would pay off in the event of terrorist attack. Now, I'm not an insurance specialist, and one of you might argue with me, but I defy you all to go see if you can insure your home or business against terrorist attack. Okay? They just generally don't do it because you cannot predict it. Okay? Now, and so then, after he's got all this done, then, within just 2 months, here's 9/11, buildings, they go down. So Larry Silverstein goes to court and argues, well, there were 2 planes and he hit 2 buildings. That's double indemnity. And the insurance, he's after $16 billion or something like that. So the insurance companies, of course, are squawking, so they go into court and they argue around for a while. Note that the insurance companies involved, we're not talking about State Farm, okay? We're talking about Alliance, the giant Nazi German insurance company, which during World War II insured the concentration camps against damage by the inmates, okay? Yeah, those terrible Jews, they just tore up the barbed wire and, scratched on the walls. But anyway, and Swiss Re and this other giant Swiss company, all right, these were not little local insurance companies. These were world level. Okay, and the top guys of these companies all met in the Bilderberger meetings. Okay, so that shows you at what level that this 9/11 thing occurred. Well, after all the court battles and everything, they finally settled on $6.3 billion. So now you guys that are good at math, how would you like to invest $125 million and about a year later make $6.3 billion? Not too shabby. But wait a minute, it gets better because Larry Silverstein doesn't get to keep all that money to himself. He's got to pay a bunch of it back to the mortgage holders, okay? The largest mortgage holder was Yellowstone Group, okay, whose CEO was, I'm sure by some sheer coincidence, Peter G. Peterson, the chairman of the Council on Foreign Relations. Now, do you understand at what level 9/11 occurred at, and the why that we will never be told the truth of it?
I think it's very interesting that I'm sure he does not have a crystal ball, but Brzezinski wrote a book several years prior to that called The Grand Chessboard, in which he said that the United States will go to war with Afghanistan, and after that with Iraq, and after that with Iran. And in, I think it was 50 years from that time, it would be a third world Spanish-speaking country. And that's exactly what they're pulling off.
That's right. It's exactly right. Well, it's like what I said earlier. He knows the game plan just like George Orwell did.
Well, he's in the Bilderberger and the Trilateral and the Council on Foreign Relations.
Yeah, exactly. But see, we're not. And so all you can do is listen to idiots like me and then go out and check it all out. See if you can't figure it out for yourself.
One last question, and I think we have to wrap up.
Okay.